ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत की नाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जगद्गुरुपति पावन श्री प्रभुपाद की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। थैंक यू। Reading from Canto 6, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 3, text number 20-21. है ना? हाँ? Yamaraja instructs his messengers. Text number 20-21. Swayambhur Narada Shambhu Kumaraha Kapilo Manuhu Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balirvayasakirvayam Dvadashaite Vijanimo Dharmam Bhagavatam Bhataha Guhyam Vishuddham Durbodham Yam Jnatvamrutam Ashnute. Swayambhur Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manuhu Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balirvayasakirvayam Dvadashaite Vijanimo Dharmam Bhagavatam Bhataha Guhyam Vishuddham Durbodham Yam Jnatvamrutam Ashnute. Ami Mother himself does.
I don't see him any time. But he's frequent low and on
Tell him I want him to see. I want to see him. Bhagavatam. Tell him, go tell him. I don't understand why he doesn't come. And his boys, nobody's there. None of you. I mean, what is happening? I believe one of them has gone home. What are they doing? I mean, if they have bona fide preaching programs elsewhere, I don't mind. Otherwise, they should be here. Huh? Swayambhu, Lord Brahma, Narada, the great saint Narada, Shambhu, Lord Shiva, Kumaraha, the four Kumaras, Kapilaha, Lord Kapila, Manuhu, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahladaha, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka, Janaka Maharaj, Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma, Balihi, Bali Maharaj, Vaiyasaki, Sukadeva, the son of Vyasadeva, Vayam, we, Dvadasha, 12, Ete, these, Vijanimaha, no, Dharmam, real religious principles. Bhagavatam, which teaches a person how to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bataha, oh my dear servants. Guhyam, very confidential. Vishuddham, transcendental, not contaminated by material modes of nature. Durbodham, not easily understood. Yam, which, Jnatva, understanding. Amritam, eternal life. Ashnute, he enjoys. Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva and the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, the son of Devahuti, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka Maharaj, grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami, and myself, and I myself, know the real religious principles. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavata Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential, difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated. And thus he returns home back to Godhead. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna refers to Bhagavata Dharma as the most confidential religious principle. Sarva guhyatamam guhyat guhyataram. Krishna says to Arjuna, because you are my very dear friend, I am explaining to you the most confidential religion. Sarva dharman parityajya Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Give up all other duties and surrender unto me. One may ask, if this principle is very rarely understood, what is the use of it? In answer, Yamaraj states herein that this religious principle is understandable if one follows the parampara system of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and the four Kumaras and other standard authorities. There are 4 lines of disciplic succession. One from Lord Brahma, one from Lord Shiva, one from Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, and one from the Kumaras. The disciplic succession from Lord Brahma is called Brahma Sampradaya. The succession from Lord Shiva Shambhu is called Rudra Sampradaya. The one from the goddess of Lakshmi, goddess of fortune Lakshmi, is called Sri Sampradaya. And the one from the Kumaras is called Kumara Sampradaya. One must take shelter of one of these four Sampradayas in order to understand the most confidential religious system. In the Padma Purana, it is said, Sampradaya Vihina ye mantras te nishphala mataha. If one does not follow the four recognized disciplic successions, his mantra or initiation is useless. In the present day, there are many apasampradayas or sampradayas which are not bona fide, which have no link to the authorities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the Kumaras or Lakshmi. People are misguided by such sampradayas. The Shastras say that being initiated in such a sampradaya is a useless waste of time, for it will never enable one to understand the real religious principles. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Dakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Did we chant the verse? Translation? Did we repeat? No. Okay. Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, the son of Devahuti, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, grandfather Bhishma Bali Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami, and I myself know the real religious principle. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavata Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he immediately becomes liberated. Thus he returns home back to Godhead. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat krupatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining us for the Sunday morning Srimad Bhagavatam Pravachan. Today we are reading Yamaraja's instructions to his servants. As you all know, Yamaraja's servants become very surprised because, according to them, the very sinful soul, Ajamila, should have been punished. But they were prevented from bringing Ajamila to Yamaraj, territory, jurisdiction, Yamalok maybe. And they were prevented from doing so. So the four servants of Yamaraj were very surprised, and then they go back and then they ask Yamaraj. They ask Yamaraj a string of questions. The first question they ask is, in very indirect way, they are asking him, are you the real boss in administering karma and other things? Is there somebody else? Because we see that your instructions has been frustrated. We have not been able to carry out your instruction by someone higher. And the representatives of Vishnu came and then they prevented us from carrying out. So there is a contradiction. You told us to do something and they stopped us from doing it. If there are multiple authorities, then there is confusion. There's always confusion if there are multiple authorities. So who is the real boss? In management, we know this. Too many bosses means no boss. You can do what you like. So we always try to maintain clarity in management by saying, you see, you report to one person, that's all, like that. So Yamadutas are asking, so what's the real thing? Then Yamaraj will tell Yamadutas that, good question you're asking me, I'm happy you're asking me. I'm actually very happy that you met the Vishnu Dutas in the course of performing your duty. You are very blessed to have met them. You're very fortunate to have seen them. You're very fortunate that you heard that Ajamila chant the name of Narayana. Yes, there's someone above me and his name is Narayana. Like that. Yamaraj will explain. Then, subsequently, Yamaraj will go on to explain that you appear to be a little confused. Who is the real boss? What is the real thing? What is the correct thing? Religious principles can be clearly understood from scripture called Bhagavatam, etc., etc. But the important thing is, Yamaraj is saying there are 12 of us who have understood the religious principles perfectly and completely. He mentions these names. This is that famous Sloka. Sorry. This is that famous Sloka that Prabhupada quotes many times. This is the 12 Mahajana Sloka. So he names the 12 people. Swayambur Narada Shambhu, Kumara Kapilo Manu, Pralado Janako Bhishmo, Balir Vayasakir Vayam. Vayam means myself, Yamaraj. So 12 of them, we know the religious principles. And there's a way of learning it from us or something like that. So there in the purport, Prabhupada is introducing the concept of Sampradaya. That means this is the principles that have been realized by these 12 great personalities. Brahma, Narada, Shambhu, the 4 sons of Brahma known as the Chatush Kumaras, Kapila Deva, Manuhu, Pralada, Janako, Bhishma. There's also this interesting personality, Bhishma. Bhishma also understands perfectly the religious principles, which is why Krishna takes Yudhishthira to Bhishma and says, "You're asking me questions, you ask him now. He will answer, and you learn from him." Bhishma will become very flattered. He will say, "My lord, in your presence, you're asking me to answer?" And Krishna will say, "You're, you're very experienced." And Bhishma will answer all the questions that Yudhishthira asks him. So similarly, Bhishma is a very interesting personality. There's many facets of his personality. We can deal with it some other time. But here, the interesting thing is Prabhupada is introducing us to the concept of 4 paramparas. By the way, in the Padma Purana, there is a shloka. I am not going to quote that right now, where the identity of these 4 paramparas has been revealed, saying that, okay, you want to learn about God, learn Bhagavan, Bhagavata Dharma, Bhakti, you want to learn. There are 4 sampradayas through which you can learn. Prabhupada also refers to these 4 Vaishnava sampradayas in his writings. So, the 4 sampradayas are Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya. Brahma means Lord Brahma. Rudra means, of course, Lord Shiva. Kumara means the sons of Brahma, the 4 Kumaras. Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, Sanatana. So the 4 Kumaras, the sons of Brahma, are also authorities. And there is the Sri Sampradaya, Mother Lakshmi. Now the Sri Sampradaya, the most prominent Acharya in the recent times is Ramanujacharya. And in the Brahma Sampradaya, there have been many prominent Acharyas. Of course, we give the most prominent position to Madhvacharya in the Brahma Sampradaya. And in the Kumara Sampradaya, the most prominent position is given to Nimbarka Acharya. And in the Rudra Sampradaya, the original prominent position was given to Vishnu Swami. But interestingly, Vishnu Swami's philosophy was subsequently modified by another Acharya in the same parampara, known as Vallabhacharya. So, Vishnu Swami parampara, rather Rudra Sampradaya, had Vishnu Swami as the original Acharya, but subsequently Vallabhacharya happened to refine, or shall we say modify, some of the teachings that were given by Vishnu Swami. So Vallabhacharya changes it a little bit. Now we belong to what is known as we are coming, technically we come under the Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. But as we all know, we differ quite a bit from what is the Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. Because we differ quite a bit from the Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, our Sampradaya is actually called Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Because there was many things that were, in terms of understanding, in terms of philosophy also, we are a little different from Madhva Sampradaya. Though we trace our origins to Madhvacharya, but our current understandings is little different from that of Madhvacharya. Hence we are called Brahma Madhva Gaudiya. Brahma Madhva line comes like this, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya line goes a little that side. Gaudiya means giving the credit to Lord Chaitanya. But of course we recognize that the philosophical enrichment of the Brahma Madhva Sampradaya was done even before Lord Chaitanya. Shall we say from the time of Madhavendra Puri. So we have Brahma Madhva Gaudiyas. But all of those understandings were crystallized and put out by Lord Chaitanya in what is known as the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara. Now, what Lord Chaitanya did is very interesting. Lord Chaitanya had a vision that he wanted to unite actually all the philosophies of the world. It's very interesting that it's very interesting that every bona fide sampradaya should have a philosophy, have a very clear-cut philosophy. It cannot be just sentimental, chant Hare Krishna, and that's it. Actually, at an operational level, we can say, all right, chanting Hare Krishna is the sadhana process. But we also have to have a proper philosophical understanding as to why we chant Hare Krishna, what should be our mood when we chant, what happens when we chant Hare Krishna, and what is our goal, and what is our relationship with the creation, Krishna, Vishnu. Did Krishna come from Vishnu or Vishnu come from Krishna? There's always these eternal debates that go on. So we should have proper philosophical conclusions, conclusive siddhanta. Just as Sri Vaishnavas have, just as the Rudra Sampradaya has. Of course, it was modified later on by Vallabhacharya. But nevertheless, they have. So, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara, we also have our own Siddhanta. But the interesting thing is, Lord Chaitanya, because he wanted to bring all the Vaishnava Paramparas in one sense together. Actually, Lord Chaitanya wants to bring the whole mankind under the umbrella of chanting Hare Krishna mantra. But at least within the home, among the Vaishnavas, we should be brought together. So Lord Chaitanya actually looks at the philosophy of the Sri Sampradaya, Madhva Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya and Kumara Sampradaya, and he picks two items, two of their most prominent teachings. Picks two prominent teachings and brings them in under Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Picks two of the teachings and brings them under Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Actually, Madhvacharya is known to be the person who very, very clearly, in a very aggressive way, who appears to have completely defeated the Mayavada philosophy. Mayavada philosophy means we are all one in the sense that you may think Krishna is God, but he is really not God. It is your imagination. You can also, we are all one. We are all one consciousness. Actually, they get terribly confused saying, if we are all one consciousness, then how are we in different bodies and like that. But nevertheless, they also have some Shastric basis, some little bit here and there. And then they promote what is known as the Advaitism. But Advaitism is completely against the Vaishnava philosophy. Vaishnava philosophy is there is Krishna, we are servants of Krishna. Advaita philosophy is you imagine something to be Krishna and you become that. And that's it. So in that sense, there's no Krishna, there's no you. Because of ignorance, you think there is Krishna and there is you. That's called Maya. You're in Maya. There's Krishna, there's you. But Vaishnava philosophy says, no. Maya means you think you're also an enjoyer. But Maya means you're also an enjoyer. Maya means that. Maya doesn't mean you don't exist. So Vaishnava philosophy is different. Madhvacharya is the most prominent acharyas among those who completely defeated and annihilated the Mayavada philosophy through Shastric arguments. Madhvacharya completely annihilated the Mayavada philosophy and clearly established. According to Madhvacharya's philosophy, there are two entities. So he clearly established the presence of two entities, which means there is Krishna, there is me, there is a living entity. And we are always eternally two. It's not that one merges with the other and becomes the same. That will never happen. Madhvacharya refutes, defeats such argument. I said there is Krishna, there is you, you're always the servant. So, hence, Madhvacharya's philosophy is also known as. And what are the points that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picks from Madhvacharya's philosophy, also known as Madhva philosophy, and brings them under Brahma Madhya Gaudiya philosophy? Is that the first point he picks from Madhvacharya is complete defeat of Mayavada philosophy. That means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says there is no place for Mayavada. Mayavada philosophy is imaginary, it's wrong, it's completely baseless. We are living entity and Krishna is the Supreme Lord. We are servants of Krishna eternally. So Madhvacharya states this. Madhvacharya clearly states that I am servant of Krishna or Vishnu. I am servant of God. I am servant today, I am servant tomorrow, I am servant eternally. Krishna is God eternally. There is no such thing as me becoming Krishna. And that is the truth. This is one point that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picked up from Madhvacharya. The second point that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picked up from Madhvacharya is Krishna Murti Sevana. That means, how do you serve Krishna? Now, physically Krishna is not present with us. So we serve Krishna by serving his Murti, serving his deity form. That's why you see the Udupi Krishna, Madhvacharya established that temple and he worshipped. Or at least Madhvacharya instituted the system of worship there. So first point from Madhvacharya is complete defeat of Mayavada philosophy. There's no place for Maya. We are two. We're not one. Krishna and me. Two. Eternally two. Never merge. I am servant of Krishna. Krishna is my master and protector. So complete defeat of Mayavada philosophy. Second point is Krishna Murti Sevana. That means serving the Murti of Krishna like how we do. So Lord Chaitanya picked these 2 points from Madhvacharya's philosophy. Very nicely he picked up these 2 points. And what did he pick up from the Sri Sampradaya? Sri Sampradaya is the Sampradaya which started by Lakshmi, Mother Lakshmi. Sri Sampradaya is little more widespread in South India than any other part. Ramanujacharya is the greatest acharya of the Sri Sampradaya. From the Sri Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picked up 2 points which says unalloyed devotion free from contamination of karma and jnana, which is a very interesting thing. That means to worship the Lord, worship of the Lord in the Murti form is kind of brought in by Madhvacharya. Of course, Madhva comes after Ramanuja. Madhvacharya comes after Ramanuja. So Ramanujacharya says, you worship, that is, you not worship, practice devotion. Unalloyed devotion free from contamination of jnana karma. Now what is this contamination of jnana and karma? Actually, Ramanujacharya says, if you're worshipping Krishna, you're serving Krishna, devotion, you want to serve Krishna, don't do it with any selfish motivation. Don't do it with any selfish motivation. So what should be the motivation? Oh, this is pleasing to Krishna. Hopefully this is pleasing to my Guru and I would like to do this. And I would like to do this. That's all. Ramanujacharya first brings into, in his parampara, he prominently places or teaches this principle of unalloyed devotion free from the contamination of jnana karma. It's actually very nice, very important point. So, whether you are devotee, you are grasta, you are sannyasi, or whatever you are, you should worship Krishna because you want to please Krishna. Not that you want to take something from Krishna. Contamination of karma means you're doing something and you want something in return. Ramanujacharya says, no. Serve Krishna, that's it. Unalloyed devotion with the idea of serving and pleasing Krishna. The second concept that Ramanujacharya, from what Lord Chaitanya takes from Ramanujacharya is Vaishnava Seva. Such a wonderful principle Ramanujacharya had emphasized, Vaishnava Seva. That means you not only serve Krishna, but you will get more or less, actually you will get the same result when you serve the devotees of Krishna also. When you serve the devotees of Krishna also. So the first point is devotion, unalloyed devotion free from the contamination of jnana and karma. Second point is Vaishnava Seva. from Ramanujacharya. Because Ramanujacharya, that principle of Tadiyaradhanam is so nicely, prominently spoken about in Ramanuja's philosophy. Tadiyaradhana means worshipping, serving, taking care of the Acharya, taking care of the Guru, taking care of Vaishnavas, serving them unconditionally. That was their mood. That was their mood. So, very, very transcendentally, Lord Chaitanya picks up these 2 points from Ramanujacharya's Sampradaya philosophical understanding. So, now he got 2 points from Sri Sampradaya as well. Then let's see what he picks up from the other 2 Sampradayas. What he picked up from Madhvacharya is absolute and complete defeat of the Mayavada philosophy. Point number 1. Point number 2 is Krishna Murti Reva Sevana. Serving the Murti of Krishna. The deity form of Krishna, like we do here, like we do in all Iskcon temples around the world. Actually, that's how the concept of worship of the deity came up. Defeat of Mayavada philosophy, establishing Krishna. You are not worshipping Krishna because you want to become one with him. No. You're worshipping Krishna because he's your boss. He's the ultimate boss of the whole whole creation. And your business is to serve him. So, Murti Reva Sevana, defeat of Mayavada philosophy. Ramanujacharya's 2 points are unalloyed devotion, free from the contamination of jnana and karma. You're not serving Krishna because you want to become known as a jnani, intelligent person. No, nothing like that. You want to serve Krishna because you want to please Krishna. You want to please, not because you'll go with the shopping list later on, no. And the second point that he picked up from Ramanujacharya's teaching is Vaishnava Seva. Such a nice point. Our whole philosophy of Lord Chaitanya is based on the principle of serving Guru, Vaishnavas. So that is how Vaishnava Seva gets prominence in our Brahma-Madhva Gaudiya Parampara. It's not that Lord Chaitanya did not know this. See, Lord Chaitanya is an integrator. He's integrating all the 4 paramparas. If some Sri Vaishnava comes and says, no, you're very different philosophy, then you can tell him, no. 2 of the points that we follow, as taught by Lord Chaitanya, are from Sri Sampradaya. Unalloyed devotion, free from the contamination of jnana, karma, and serving the Vaishnavas. How can you say we are different? Then, let's take a look at what Lord Chaitanya picks up from Vishnu Swami, also known as the Rudra Sampradaya. So, one of the points that Lord Chaitanya picks up from Rudra Sampradaya is, very, very nice. From Rudra Sampradaya is the concept of total dependence on Krishna. Is the concept of total dependence on Krishna. Actually, it will take some time for us to even understand what that means. What does it mean to be totally dependent on Krishna? To be convinced that Krishna is my protector, Krishna is my provider, Krishna is my well-wisher, Krishna is my friend, Krishna is my only hope in this world. Krishna is my only hope. Krishna is my only shelter. Krishna is my only ashraya. Like it is said when Indra was pounding Vrindavan with rain, Nandagaon, all of them went to Krishna. Especially it's said in the Bhagavatam that the cows and the calves went to Krishna, looked up to him and said, so what are we supposed to do, Krishna? Can you tell us something? Can you show us the way? So, that's called exclusive dependence on Krishna. Actually, this also means that strictly speaking, there is no place for worship of anybody other than Krishna. Vishnu Swami's philosophy says, we worship Krishna and only Krishna. There's no place, there's no need. The main point he's making is, there is no need to worship anybody other than Krishna. Actually, all these acharyas are great thinkers. I mean, I can't say thinkers in the sense that they're inventing something new, But they're great philosophers, they're great devotees, maybe that's the best word. They were great devotees, each one of them in a little uniquely different mood. Imagine Vishnu Swami saying that he speaks about the concept of total dependence on Krishna. Such a sweet conception. Even when you think of that, it relieves us. Okay, I have somebody on whom I can trust 100%, put my faith on him completely. That's Krishna. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu liked it. He picked it up from the Vishnu Swami's parampara. He liked it. He said, this is very nice. Exclusive dependence on Krishna. Krishna is everything for us. Krishna's teachings we follow, Krishna's worship we do, Krishna's service we do, Krishna's pleasure is what we want to achieve, Krishna's goal and instructions that he gives through scripture or through guru we want to follow. And we want to remain as dedicated, loyal servants of Krishna. So Vishnu Swami's teaching is how to become, exclusive dependence on Krishna. The second point that Lord Chaitanya picks up from Vishnu Swami is, Vishnu Swami is an acharya from whom Lord Chaitanya takes the principle of, a little bit of principle of raga. Raga means worship Krishna with some feeling, not as a duty. Do you understand the difference between the two? It's like, you go to a hotel, somebody will cook. He won't even turn to see who is eating. He'll make a dosa, send it to somebody and somebody else. They don't care as long as they get theirs. But your mother is not like that at home. She will cook, she will think, okay, what does this son of mine like? What does he like? What does this person like? And she'll make it in a way, she'll finish it in such a way that it suits that person's taste, etc. So that's called feeling, having a feeling in investing some feeling in what you're doing. Prabhupada used to use the word mellow, also known as feeling, that's called raga. So Vishnu Swami spoke about worship of Krishna with feeling. Typically a mother-child relationship, there's a lot of feeling in it. You go to some place and it's completely different, the relationship between, let's say, a passerby and a child and the mother and the same child. So please learn to invest some feeling in your worship. So Vishnu Swami spoke about doing devotional service in a spontaneous way with some raga. Raga means mellow, with some attachment. So Lord Chaitanya picked that point also. First one was very, very nice, exclusive dependence on Krishna, and depend on Krishna lovingly, with some feeling. Depend on Krishna, worship Krishna with some feeling. So these are the 2 points that Lord Chaitanya picks up from Vishnu Swami Parampara. Is it getting too confusing? But we are Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara people, where we should know these things. Definitely we should know. We should know what is our origin, what is our philosophy, what is our conclusion, what is our... And where does it come from? See, a particular word is used to describe a sampradaya, amnaya. The word is samamnaya or amnaya. This word is used to describe the basic characteristics of a parampara, sampradaya, also known as sampradaya or parampara. The word amnaya means, in Sanskrit the word amnaya means that set of religious principles that are repeated generation after generation. Amnaya, repeated. I will repeat what I have heard. I will carry it forward to the next generation. It's called principle of samamnaya or amnaya. Both mean more or less the same thing. Which means I have heard, I will repeat, I have heard, I will practice, I will explain, I will repeat. That's all. I will not change the conclusions but when a set of common beliefs we can identify in a disciplic succession, that is called a sampradaya. See, sampradaya doesn't mean that I am Guru, I'm the disciple of so-and-so who was a disciple. Not just that. It means I am a disciple of such and such a Guru because I identify with his teachings. I accept those teachings. The essential principle of a sampradaya or parampara is, I become a member of a particular parampara when I accept, when I like, when I want to follow voluntarily that teaching. See, the thing about parampara, sampradaya is, in the real sense of the term, it has very little to do with birth. In the sense that sometimes that is what is the confusing thing. Like somebody is a Sri Vaishnava, let us say. So automatically his son or daughter or somebody cannot claim to be a Sri Vaishnava, at least in a philosophical sense. Because if you want to call yourself a Sri Vaishnava in the philosophical sense, you may be born to a Sri Vaishnava, but you cannot be considered a Sri Vaishnava unless you follow. Amneya happens to you, which means you also accept the basic teachings. And you're accepting, you're following, and you're carrying forward. That is when you're a true Shiva. For that matter, the same thing about Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Yeah, I may be a Gaudiya Vaishnava, but that may not be necessarily true about my children, my grandchildren, or whoever. Unless they also willingly accept, follow, and repeat it. In other words, protect the teachings. I protect the teachings, I practice the teachings, I will repeat the teachings. That's when a particular line acquires the label sampradaya or parampara. Otherwise it cannot. It has nothing, actually, practically speaking, it has nothing to do with birth. But it's an aberration, it's a sad thing that today, in today's world, a lot of this is attributed to birth. If you're born in an Iyengar family, immediately you're called Sri Vaishnava. That means your father or somebody up above, long back, he was a Vaishnava in the true sense of the word, in the sense that he understood, he voluntarily accepted, and then he preached and he practiced. And you're descendant of that great personality. Whether you follow practice or not, that's a big question. Recently there was a huge controversy in the music world because somebody got an award, Sangeet something award. It threw up a huge debate among the music fraternity. The reason I refer to that now is because it has some lessons that we can learn. That person who got an award as some music, Sangeet Kala Nidhi or some Nidhi, something like that, he had the view that music, or shall we say Carnatic music specifically, is just a technique of singing. That's all. I mean, every raga is a technique of singing. It's a way of singing. It's a particular style of singing. How the notes move and how the words, like that. So there are many ragas and there are many ways of singing. Ways of singing means many distinct styles of singing. Let's say you take a particular verse and then you sing it in Adi Tala, this raga, whatever. You can sing the same verse in a different raga, which means, okay, I'll give you an example that you can relate to. It's like the Hare Krishna mantra. We have many ways of singing the Hare Krishna mantra. Yes or no? We have, right? And there are many ways in which we sing and then we hear, and they have different ragas. I mean, you could say different styles. So this distinct style of singing is also called, in the traditional Carnatic music lexicon, it's called raga. It has to follow a particular pattern. So this man who got the award had the audacity to say, it is not a divine art. It's not a divine art. Then he also said that it's just a way of singing. It's like we sing the Hare Krishna mantra. we don't look at it only as a string of syllables and how we play with the syllables. No, for us it's a way of telling Giridhari, my dear Lord, I'm your servant, please accept me, please give me service, please protect me. There's a whole spiritual dimension to it. So this singer had said that there is no such thing as spiritual dimension. Nothing is there. Carnatic music, if you think there is a spiritual dimension, then you're just imagining or something. Carnatic music is a way of singing, that's all. It has no spiritual dimension, not spiritual. Actually, the Vedic understanding is all forms of art. Dance, drama, sculpture, writing, singing, everything is connected to glorification of Krishna. Glorification of the Lord. Different ways. Poetry, everything. But he said, no, it is not. It is a standalone piece of music mastery. And he said, you can use this style to sing a song composed by Tyagaraja, and there's no difference at all. You can use the same style to sing a song composed by somebody called Periyar. Periyar was the biggest atheist, agnostic in the world. Atheist. Actually, he was a very offensive atheist. He said, you should burn the temples, you should burn this, burn that. So it's very strange. In Tamil Nadu, in some places in front of the temples, they have installed a murti of Periyar. Because, I don't know, they're not comfortable with being religious or something like that. So here is this man who said there's no spiritual dimension, there's nothing, there's no bhakti, there's no God, you're just introducing into Carnatic music what does not exist. Carnatic music is just a style of singing, that's all. You can sing a song by Periyar, by some fisherman, this or that in that music, in that style, that's all. And they gave him an award. This is his understanding, this is what he's propagating. They said, your Kala Nidhi, this Nidhi, that Nidhi. There was such a huge eruption of protest by different classes of people saying, how can you award this guy? Because all others who are followers of the art, they look at it as a devotional expression. Sit, listen to Kacheri, because they glorify Lord Rama, they glorify Krishna, like Purandara Dasa's songs, typically. They're all songs. And they're meant to be sung in a particular Carnatic style. They're very nice, like that famous song that we hear. What is that? Adisiddal Yeshode, for instance. If you take this song, Adisiddal Yeshode, so that's sung in a particular way. And it makes us feel so nice that see how Mother Yashoda is playing with Lord Krishna when he was a child. And it evokes a nice devotional sentiment, and we respect Purandara Dasa saying such a nice devotee, he wrote such a lovely song. It reminds us, we hear in a it's that being rendered in a very devotional, also melodious way. It's melodious and at the same time devotional. But this man comes and says, no, there is no devotional. Don't bring devotion into this music. It is just a style of singing. Because, you should like the singing, it does not matter what I'm singing. It should not matter what I'm singing. You should see how expertly I'm following that meter. How expertly, how correctly I'm following that style. And I may be singing about Tyagaraja's Rama, or I may be singing about Periyar's philosophy, or I may sing about a wall, or I may sing about nothing also. All are same. So people are asking how you can award an award like this to somebody like this. Like that. So the reason I bring it out is because, see, there is this whole concept that, and by the way, he was in what is known as one of the traditional Shiva Vaishnava family. He was born into that. Can we call him a Shiva Vaishnava? Obviously not. So, Lord Chaitanya, we are also very clear that we don't recognize. See, we believe every human being is technically eligible to become a nice devotee. And we will do the best we can to help him become a good devotee. As an institution, as Iskcon, we will do the best we can to help every child, every young person, every person to become a very serious, nice devotee by understanding and by accepting, not by birth. One is recognized for his devotional qualities, sincerity, dedication, purity, love, whatever, rather than birth. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says birth should have no consideration. Even Panditri, that means you're a great Pandit, you're a great scholar, even that has not so much importance. Because you may know, but you may not quite really accept and practice. Like for example, in the Western world, there are many people who have done research on Jiva Goswami's Shat Sandarbhas. In many universities, they have written theses and PhDs on how Jiva Goswami's Shat Sandarbhas make him one of the greatest philosophers in modern day world. Things like that. But are they devotees? The answer is no. So, one becomes a part of some sampradaya because we accept and we want to serve Krishna. So the 2 points that Lord Chaitanya takes from Vishnu Swami are, what? Unalloyed, what is it? Complete dependence on Krishna. Yes, some bhava. He uses the word concept of spontaneous, that means spontaneous. One of happy, spontaneous. You're not doing it because there's a rule. You're not doing it because it's being forced on you. You're doing it because you like it. We all eat prasadam because we like it. Same way we worship Krishna also because we should like. It has nothing to do with one's birth. So Lord Chaitanya picks these 2 points from Vishnu Swami's parampara, also known as Rudra Parampara. So from Madhvacharya, total defeat of the Mayavada concept, worship of Krishna's Vigraha. From Ramanujacharya, unalloyed bhakti, free from the contamination of jnana and karma, and Vaishnava Seva. From Rudra Parampara, concept, it's very, very nice point. Concept of complete dependence on Krishna and spontaneous bhakti. There should be spontaneous. Bhakti should come from your heart. Now we cannot sit down and say, I don't have bhakti coming out of my heart, so I don't know what to do, so I'd better wait. No, it doesn't happen like that. We follow sadhana, then that triggers the spontaneous bhakti. You get what I'm saying? You follow the process given, then automatically it triggers spontaneous bhakti. It triggers, it brings out, manifests. And the last parampara, Nimbarkacharya. Nimbarkacharya is also southern Indian origin. Nimbarkacharya was from some village in Telangana. But he went to Vrindavan. He lived there in Vrindavan. And apparently he was living in some place in Vrindavan. And there was some forest there. So he was very curious to know more about Krishna, more about how should we worship Krishna, what is the right way to worship Krishna, and so on. So it is said that Nimbarkacharya was in such a mood, such an intensely hankering mood of wanting to know more about Krishna, what is it, how can I serve, what philosophy should I follow, etc. That it is said that he was constantly meditating and saying, I want to learn, can someone teach me? Is there somebody who can teach me? This is all arranged by the Lord himself. That said that he used to go to then in search of some guru or acharya, he used to go around all over the place in Vrindavan. So one day, because looking at his sincerity and dedication and sincere, because he was very qualified to receive instructions, it is said that as he was walking in the forest, he came across a place where he found these 4 self-effulgent, great sons of Brahma. He actually found them. Or shall we say, they found him. They manifested themselves in front of him. And Sanak Kumara, Sanaka Samhita it's called, gave him a book and said, this will answer all your questions about who is God, how to worship him, how do I serve, etc. So he received that book. Sanaka Samhita it's called. And after that, he spent his whole lifetime studying the book and preaching that philosophy. But it said that later part of his life, he came to Navadvip also. It is said that he visited Navadvip also. Now, Nimbarka Acharya, he is yes, Nimbarka Acharya says that to accept that Srimati Radharani is the best devotee of the Lord. To accept Srimati Radharani as the most exalted and the best and the superlative devotee of the Lord. And Nimbarka Acharya's second point that Lord Chaitanya took also is somewhat related to Radharani itself. Nimbarka Acharya says, to accept Radharani as the best devotee of the Lord, to accept the mood of the gopis when we serve the Lord. Accept the mood of the gopis. See, there is one difference between accepting the mood of gopis and accepting the mood of worship of Radha Krishna, let's say in the Vishnu Swami Parampara. The difference is this. In the Vishnu Swami Parampara, they accept worship in the mood of, which is known as Sambhoga. Sambhoga means they accept the worship of Radha Krishna. That means Radha and Krishna are together. But the Gopi Bhava is a little different, that and Swakiya Bhava. Swakiya Bhava means Radha Krishna are wedded. More like the Lakshmi Narayana mood. They're wedded. Wedded means they're married to one another. That's more or less the Vishnu Swami Parampara. Actually, it is said that Vishnu Swami propagated the worship of Sitaram. And Vallabhacharya subsequently changed it to worship of Radha Krishna. But worship of Radha Krishna in a wedded form. That means they're wedded. They're together. They're married. They're husband, wife. Kind of understanding. Lakshmi Narayan type of understanding. But when you come down to the Gopi Bhav, as the 2 points that Lord Chaitanya picked up from the Nimbarka Acharya, one, he says Radharani is the supreme, most exalted devotee. So we worship her. So the concept of surrender to Radharani also comes from Nimbarka Acharya. That means you want to get Krishna, you go through Radharani. Comes from Nimbarka Acharya. Radharani is the most, what shall we say, perfect expression of bhakti, etc., etc. So you worship her, take her shelter. In other words, follow her model, guidance from Radharani, and then you will also like that. And the second point is that we have to accept that from Nimbarka Acharya, the second point he stresses is, we accept the mood of the gopis as the way in which we want to worship Krishna. Mood of the gopis. And what is that mood of the gopis that Nimbarka Acharya commented upon? Is to give everything to Krishna for exclusive pleasure and satisfaction of Krishna. For the exclusive pleasure and satisfaction of Krishna. So these are the 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 8 points that Lord Chaitanya takes from the 4 paramparas. And then he says, this is the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara. So which is why you go to the Chaitanya Mat, you will find all these 4 acharyas in the prakara of the temple. You have the Vishnu Swami, we have Madhvacharya, we have Ramanujacharya, we have Nimbarka, and we have Vishnu, and Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka. 4. Acharya's murti is there. In other words, their essential teachings have come, and that's how Lord Chaitanya's philosophy. So at least in the first phase, Lord Chaitanya is thinking, let's bring all the Vaishnava paramparas together. Let there be no separation among Vaishnava paramparas. And then of course Lord Chaitanya added to all this the concept of chanting Hare Krishna, or which is the Yuga Dharma, which is Kalau Tad Hari Kirtanat. So that's how his whole philosophy came out, Lord Chaitanya's philosophy. We should understand that Lord Chaitanya is not looking, this is phase one of uniting all people of the world. That's all. Bring all the Vaishnava Paramparas together. And then bring all the people of the world together. Actually, there's one interesting statistic, if you come to know about it. I was mentioning a few days back. I think I mentioned it last time also. I don't know where, here or some other class. One among the most popular place of pilgrims in the world is Makkah, Medina. Did I mention to you all? It's Makkah, Medina. Makkah, Medina gets about 5 million people every year. That's 50 lakh people visit, pilgrims. The other place which is more popular, which gets more tourists and visitors than Makkah, Medina, is Vatican. Vatican gets 10 million people. That's like 1 crore. But if you see, there's no other place which is as popular or in terms of as a spiritual destination. But if you look at what's happening in Mayapur, the new temple is not yet done. It's still coming up. It may take another 2 years or 3 years. It's still coming up. Already we are averaging about 25,000 people per day, averaging. Weekday 15 to 20,000, weekends 30, 40,000. So averages off to 25,000 per day, which is like 7.5 lakhs per month, which is like, how many? 90 lakhs per year. Which means we are already a bigger place of pilgrimage destination than Makkah, Medina. And the temple is not completed yet. And imagine when the temple is completed. They are saying they want to gear themselves up to manage an inflow of 1 lakh per day. Like Ayodhya, like Kashi. Ayodhya is already averaging, if I'm right, 1 lakh or 1 lakh plus per day. Ayodhya. Kashi is also averaging a little more than that, I guess, per day. So they want to grow Mayapur city to be able to handle that kind of tourist inflow. The government is also cooperating. They have made that 4-lane highway almost up to the doorstep of Mayapur. And they're increasing that rail network. I don't know how many of you are aware that there used to be a train which used to go from Krishna Nagar railway station to Bhaktivinoda Thakura's house. You're aware? Anybody knows? You know, my first visit to Mayapur, I took that train from Krishna Nagar. It's a funny 2-bogie train. It was pretty nice. You get into the train and people with sheep and this and all kind of people get into that train and it takes you from Krishna Nagar to all the way up to Swarvganj, Bhaktivinoda Thakura's house. Then you just cross the river and you're in Mayapur. My first visit sometime in the 80s, 88, 89, I took the train. Then they stopped using it. I don't know what happened. Now the interesting thing is they're reviving the train. And I went this time. But it's not coming all the way up to Swarupganj. It will come up to Amghata, which is 1.5 kilometers or 2 kilometers from Swarupganj. Reviving the train. They put electric track and they made a new track and Amghata built a new station there. And so if you get into a train in Sealdah, there's a good chance that some of those trains will probably take you all the way up to Amghata. Or at least you drop off at Krishnanagar and take another train to Amghata. And from Amghata, you can cross. There is the Taranpur Ghat. From Amghata, you can cross the Taranpur Ghat and enter Mayapur. In fact, I also heard that somewhere near the Taranpur Ghat, they want to build a bridge. And the government of West Bengal is cooperating. They are asking Iskcon that is this where you want the bridge? They're consulting Iskcon leaders. Or you want the bridge in separate location or something like that. So, Dairam Prabhu and others are involved in discussions with the West Bengal government where the bridge should come up, which is the exact place, road bridge. So that they'll cross the Jalangi and enter Mayapur. So imagine, it will be a seamless journey. You don't have to It's such an interesting. Now imagine after that, there'll be 1 lakh people coming to Mayapur every day. That would be like 30 lakhs per month. That would be like how many crores per year? 3.6 crores. That means we will be 3 times bigger, the biggest spiritual destination in the world. I think Ayodhya is already doing such numbers. So, imagine they come to Mayapur. I don't know, I've not yet been to Ayodhya. I don't know to what extent the spiritual part is highlighted. Maybe you just go have darshan and come. Shamkund Prabhu was there recently. But in Mayapur, you hear kirtan everywhere, all the time. And there are people who tirelessly bug you. They don't leave you until you buy a book. You think, okay, I got rid of this person. You walk a few feet and another person is standing there. Then you think you got rid of that person, then after some time another person will manifest. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji, like that. Until you buy something. But it's nice that we should retain that kind of a spiritual mood. And then you always hear kirtan. There are always kirtan parties going here, up and down. And in the temple there's 24-hour kirtan. And you can't step out of Mayapur without taking some prasadam, having darshan of these gigantic Panchatattva deities, Radha Madhav, Ashtasakhi, Nrsingadev, and the new temple and the Vedic exhibition. They'll just get bewildered when they see that exhibits in the Vedic exhibition. They'll just get mind-blowing experience. So it'll increase their faith in Sanatana Dharma, increase their faith in bhakti, in Krishna, increase their faith in chanting. Many people will take to chanting. Many people, the Gita course that is being conducted by the department there, they have made hundreds of devotees, hundreds. I don't know if you put all the efforts of all the teams in Iskcon together. Namanishta has trained more than 11 million people. Online Bhagavad Gita course. We have done about 1 or 2 million people. No, 1 or 2 lakhs. Namanishta has done 1.1 million, not 11 million. He's done about 11, 12 lakhs. We've done about 1 or 2 lakhs. Maybe we are the most serious people in the online space who are teaching bhakti, systematically enrolling people. And we offer all these courses are free. The SGR course, this 18-day course are all free. Somehow or other, getting people one way or other, yenakena prakarena, get them into Krishna consciousness. So, if you look at it that way, and I heard that when Ayodhya temple opened, there were crores and crores of people who came to the temple during that opening ceremony. For 1.5 months, Iskcon had its camp there. Maybe 3-4 lakh plates of prasadam, or even much more than that. But every day they were going around the Ayodhya area doing kirtan. Countless number of people have heard that kirtan, and they were selling Gita free. They had a problem. People were not believing it. They said, how will you grow Gita free? They said, finally they had to bundle it and saying, you buy these books, then we'll give Gita free. Something like that happened. Some unique method they came up with. Prasadam, kirtan, Bhagavad Gita, they were taking home. And that camp was there for 1 month and a half in Ayodhya. And similarly, Vrindavan also, if you look at the influx of tourists, pilgrims there, that's growing year by year. Every time I go there, I feel that, my God, this has become even more crowded than last time. And I keep asking them, because it is Magh Mas, aisa crowd hai kya? Those guys, the rickshaw drivers will tell me, that aajkal kuch nahi, Prabhu, sari 12 mahina season hi hai. All 12 months of the year is season in Vrindavan. The same thing they told me in Mayapur also. That people are coming all through the year. Actually, chanting Hare Krishna is the new and the fastest religion in the world. Chanting Hare Krishna is the fastest growing religious movement in the world. Many people may not be in the strictest of philosophical sense. They may not know all this. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took 2 points from Rudra Sampradaya, Vaishnu Sampradaya. They may not know. Madhva Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya. We should know. We are into it. We should know. But they believe in chanting Hare Krishna, visiting a temple and worshipping Krishna and taking prasad and reading Bhagavad Gita and spiritualizing their life to some extent. They know that. They know it's good. They know we have to do it. And slowly that pride in our culture is also coming, and people are less apologetic about showing off their religious beliefs of being a Hindu in this country now. So if you look at it that way, Christianity is a dwindling religion. Very pathetically dwindling religion. So the hope for the world is the Hare Krishnas only. Of course, Christianity may appear like they're growing in numbers in some parts of this country, but honestly, that kind of growth is not philosophical, based on philosophical understanding or conviction. It's based on misunderstanding, complete misunderstanding, or lack of understanding of what we are, of what Sanatana Dharma is. So these are the vision, this is the vision of Lord Chaitanya. Bring everybody under the shelter of chanting, the process of chanting, which is the Yuva Dharma. Make everyone chant the Hare Krishna mantra. And those who are interested in the philosophical part, here it is. I've taken 2 points from Madhvacharya, 2 points from Ramanujacharya, 2 points from Vishnu Swami, and 2 points from Nimbarkacharya, 8 points. So, whichever denomination among the Vaishnavas you belong to, come here. We are practicing the best principles of your parampara here. The best principles of your sampradaya are there, already there in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tattva. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is inviting, his arms are open and inviting everybody, independent of caste, religion, kula, gotra, nationality also. See, Prabhupada says this identity of nationalism is created by, you know what, in the last 200, 300 years, maybe 200 years, the identity of being a particular national. UK or Europe, I mean Norway, Sweden, you can trace it back to maybe 150, 200 years. That's how the old. But Sanatana Dharma it does not know any boundary. It is the religion of all the living entities in this world. It does not, it is not limited to a particular place or province. Because suddenly some new started, they had 120 countries, today they have 180 or 190 countries. So it's actually a very temporary, ephemeral thing. Real Dharma is Sanatana. Real Dharma is chant Krishna's name, whether today you're, in India so many new states have come up. That doesn't mean anything. These are all very superficial, external things. Has anything changed in our lives as human beings? No, we are what we are and we continue to stay like that. Our real identity is I'm servant of Krishna, I chant Krishna's name, I worship Krishna. That's my real identity. And I follow Yuva Dharma, which is chanting Hare Krishna and taking prasad. But for those who are philosophically inclined, which we want all of you to be, otherwise it is sentimental. Then if you don't have some philosophical understanding, there's a risk that you may be confused. When somebody else comes and aggressively says something, you don't know, you're confused. But today a well-situated, well-versed Gaudiya Vaishnava, he will never shake. He'll be able to point out the flaws in anybody's argument and say, see, come, whatever you're saying, if you're a theistic person or believer of God, let's say Christianity or Islam or something. So, Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy can show that whatever you're following, we are following, but we are following something more also. We're following something more. But as far as Vaishnava paramparas are concerned, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a disarming way, he's saying, the best of your philosophy I have taken. I have taken and I have integrated. The best of your philosophy. Like Sri Vaishnavas was unalloyed devotion to Krishna, free from the concept of contamination of Jnana and Karma and Vaishnava Seva. Madhvacharya, complete, total defeating of Advaita philosophy and worship of the Vigraha of Sri Krishna. Vishnu Swami is that, what? Acharya was to accept Radharani as the supreme and most perfect devotee, and hence we can take shelter of Radharani. And in what mood we take shelter? In the mood of gopis. We worship Krishna in the mood of gopis. So this is how Lord Chaitanya's philosophy evolved. We can't say we don't want to say that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna. He knows what he's doing. It's not that he learned from them. He picked and says, all right, let's do this. Like, cuisine. There's a continental, there is the European, there is the Gujarati, there is the Marwari, there is this, there is that. But put all of them together. Best of all these cuisines together and give you a, assorted or whatever. So everybody is happy, like that. Chaitanya practically is the most integrating philosophy of the world. And if you look at Christianity also, they say, glorify the name of thy Father in heaven with all thy heart and soul. Glorify the name of thy Father in heaven with all thy heart and soul. With all your heart and soul. It's already there. Kirtana deva Krishnasya. Islam, the word Islam means surrender. Exclusive dependence of Krishna is surrender. So Prabhupada was able to establish the superiority of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy through philosophical discussion. Through philosophical discussion, which is what he expected that all of us will do. Prabhupada said he wanted all his Grihastha disciples to become Paramahamsas. And their children should become Acharyas. Grihasthas should become Paramahamsas and their children should become Acharyas. That was the goal, Prabhupada said. Guru Maharaj was saying in the Vyasa Puja 2 days back, Prabhupada has such high expectations. All right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Any questions, comments? It was too tiring mentally to hear this. But you should make a note somewhere and keep it. That much little understanding we have to absorb. Who are we? What is our philosophy? Where did it come from? What are the 2 points that Chaitanya took from each of the paramparas? Yes. No comments? Yes?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for explaining very nicely all the 4 sampradayas. I have small doubt on this. Leave all other duties and surrender to me. I would like to know more on that.
Should I tell you exactly what that means? You also know, I also know. You see, that can be the goal. That should be the goal of every devotee. Every devotee should keep that as a goal. It's a different matter. He may achieve partially, he may not achieve fully. That's okay. But that should be an active goal in our mind. To give up all other responsibilities and dedicate our life completely to the service of Krishna. So, that is sometimes a step-by-step process. Begin by chanting, then we start reading, then we start preaching, then we move close to the temple, we do some services in the temple. Weekends we dedicate to serving in the temple. Sometimes we teach kids, we help run the temple, we help manage the temple. And finally we become part of the temple. Finally we become part of the temple. That should be the goal. Don't trick yourself into believing, no, it's okay, I can be like this, I can be like that, I'll give all free time to the temple and that's quite enough. No. Don't trick yourself. The meaning of this instruction is clear. That your goal should be to dedicate yourself completely to Krishna and Krishna's service. You should be waiting for the day when you can retire from all other responsibilities and come to Krishna. We should wait. We should hanker for that day when I'm not doing anything else other than Krishna's service, morning to night. We should pray for that blessing. We should pray beg at the lotus feet of every Vaishnava who is living like that. When will that kind of a spark awaken in me? When will I get that spark, and when will I trust that spark and get out of whatever I am doing? But then, of course, we should do, like I said, it has to be done step by step, because we can't pretend that, all right, I heard this class, I heard that, I read this, so I am ready. No, it doesn't work like that. We should prepare ourselves, prepare our mind. Like I said, first we are interested devotees, then we devotees who are participating in different activities, then we are serious devotees, then we are committed devotees, then we are devotees who are giving time to run the temple and preaching and taking responsibility, guiding others, and then it slowly becomes that this is my main activity, I'm just running a business or doing something else to support myself. And I keep telling myself every day when I get up in the morning, can I do more today than I did yesterday? So as long as that thought is alive, can I do more today than I did yesterday? Then Krishna will reciprocate also. That's the interesting part. Krishna will reciprocate. He'll probably pave the way for you to cut through all your barriers and like that. But that should be the goal, and sincere goal. We should keep it prominently in our mind. Can I do more today than I did yesterday? Can I offer more service? Can I offer more? Good question. Thank you. Yes, Prashantatma.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very heartily, I thankful to you. Very nicely, you bring that Mahajan to our real Mahajan in 4 Mahajan. And yes, we are what the 8 step we are following, but we don't know very authentic way how it came. You explained very nicely. All these things we are following in the mood of Gopi, serving Radha Krishna, set to Radharani as best devotees.
Correct.
And following the devotees, serving the devotees.
Exclusively, completely sheltered by Krishna, dependence on Krishna. And also, Mahaprabhu speaks. Yes, carry on.
Everything is in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everything's in bots. So very nice way you explain that how can we brought other sampradayas and merge. If they can come, how can we?
That's the whole spirit. How do we bring them? Welcome them, like Lord Chaitanya welcomed.
So very
come. You also chant Hare Krishna now. Very good.
Even Christian and Muslim also we can bring. How nice way you explain. Thank you, Prabhu. It is such a nice class today. I learned lot of things. Very like in our Samvidhan is going on a lot of rules and regulation. But in our Iskcon Samvidhan, Gaudiya Samvidhan, this 8 points is very nice and sweet. Yes, thank you.
Serving the Murti of Krishna, serving the Vaishnavas.
Krishna.
Total defeat of Mayavada culture. Unalloyed worship, free from the contamination of jnana and karma. Accepting Radharani is the best example, and worshipping Krishna in the mood of the gopis.
Thank you.
You should remember this, it's very good. Gives us that faith and confidence. Mataji has a question.
Just want to
Yes, Shyamkund Prabhu.
I just want to accentuate something that you said about the Carnatic singer and his thought process. It very much is what you call resonates with the theme that you said of preserving the parampara, not just being born. Because if you look at his history, sometime in 1910 or so, there was this great Indian National Congress party which was formed by Annie Besant, and she was based in Chennai. And at that time, when this party was formed, there was actually what was called as the Mylapore faction, and there was the Egmore faction. They were trying to get control of it, and they started this throughout India, etc. I mean, not 1910, 1880 or 1885. So when this singer's family comes from the Egmore faction, and there is also a very prominent news publication.
I know that.
They also come from the Egmore faction. And after a lot of struggle, they come from the Sri Vaishnava family there. The Mylapore faction also had a Brahmin families. But because they had to struggle to prove themselves, over a period of time, they lost the faith in the Vedic process. They did not identify themselves with the Vedic teachings. And they leaned towards communism. And that's how they have come here. So because they couldn't sustain the parampara in their family life, they got more with power, publication, the publication which gives them more money and strength and etc. It went up.
Influence, power, and so on. It said that this gentleman in the initial stages of his career was like a very devout Shivaishnava. I don't know, something happened. He gave it up. No questions from Matajis? Okay, fine. Fine.
Hare Krishna, Shri Shri Gandharvika Giridhari Sriman Mahaprabhu ki. Very, very warm welcome for this morning's Sunday feast. What a discussion we've had. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, especially for all those preachers, budding preachers, aspiring